From MTN News, this is Montana This Morning.
The new road from Gardner to Mammoth at Yellowstone's north entrance will not be ready to open on October 15th as originally planned. Why it's delayed and when it will ultimately open, coming up. And Montana's crime lab in Billings working overtime because of the fentanyl crisis in the state. What that looks like from the inside, coming up at 6:33.
I'm Casey Conlon. Coming up, we'll take you inside this podcast studio in downtown Billings, where three men are trying to pull others out of the depths of addiction.
Well, happy Wednesday, Southwest Montana. Chet Lehman, Matt Elwell with you here. A lovely fall morning unfolding before you. If you're just getting around, grab another cup of coffee, maybe drop a piece of toast, put some jelly on it, and we've got another half hour to go.
Why is it always got to be about food? Now I'm hungry.
I can't help that. You know me better than that.
It's a beautiful morning. Our temperature's holding into the 30s, though, so you may want to make sure you know where that jacket is as you head out the door. We're sitting at 36 in Butte, 38 in Belgrade, 28 this morning in West Yellowstone. I know that you love to see this.
I do,
This is for planning purposes only, not that you'll follow through. Fall yard work forecast. Hey, we're in the green pretty much through the weekend and early next week before we start to see some changes. I'll talk about those changes, and you'll like it if you like fall. Daytime highs back into the 70s for today. Beautiful afternoon. We'll talk more about those changes on the way from the Billings Clinic Bozeman weather patio in just a few minutes.
I love that. My lawn, too green to cut. That's what that
Is that what that is?
Too green to mow.
I need to think out my
There we go. I have an excuse for everything.
Yeah, you do.
6:33, our top story this half hour. Yellowstone National Park will miss its deadline to open a new road from Gardner to Mammoth by the 15th of October. Park says the road will now open no later than the 1st of November. The original road through Gardner Canyon damaged by flooding in June, and it cannot be used. Now, as MTN News reported last week, Park Superintendent Cam Shawley warned that the work on the road might delay the opening. He says a delay in delivery of 5,000 feet of guardrail and extra work to cut a new, less steep approach to Mammoth are the reasons for the delay. Shawley says once complete, the road will handle 2,000 to 3,000 vehicles a day, and it is critical that it be fully finished before opening to the public.
I think everybody would agree with me that if we end up having to need an extra week or two to make sure that the engineering and the road is completely safe, that's a better way to go than opening too soon and having some failure.
Shawley also says the Federal Highway Administration asked the park to change the approach to Mammoth in order to avoid having a 12 to 15% grade that exists on the original road. Now, in the northeast corner of the park, Shawley says the road connecting Tower Junction with Silvergate and Cook City will be completed on time and will open to traffic on October 15th. But without the Gardner entrance operating, the only way to get to that road will be from entrances in the southern part of the park. Shawley says if snows arrive before Mammoth to Gardner Road opens, the park will plow a 7-mile stretch of highway connecting Cook City with Wyoming so that access is maintained to that community, and we'll continue to follow that progress. Meantime, Governor was in Butte yesterday to get an update from community leaders in their fight against the fentanyl crisis. Greg Gianforte heard from members of Butte's Community Action Group, which was formed after Butte had 6 reported overdose deaths from fentanyl. Law enforcement, health officials, and community members provided suggestions and needs in trying to solve this growing problem in Butte. Town Pump pledged $100,000 to go to an advertising campaign of social media to warn young people of the dangers of fentanyl.
We've lost 6 lives so far this year. We can't afford to wait any longer. We have to really educate everybody about the dangers of this.
Now, Governor Gianforte praised Butte for organizing an action committee to tackle this issue, which is now, unfortunately, a statewide program. Well, this morning we have a peek inside the Montana State Crime Lab, where cases of fentanyl are being analyzed in criminal cases which are currently under investigation in our state. TN's Andrea Lutz visited the crime lab to learn some alarming numbers about the uptick in cases coming in, plus the unpredictable things drug makers are doing to mix it.
Chemists who work in the Montana State Crime Lab in Billings.
It seems to be in a lot of different places that we didn't used to see it.
Finding themselves now seeing more cases of fentanyl coming in.
Fentanyl is making up more and more of the evidence that we see. We're finding it more often in large submissions of tablets, small submissions of tablets.
So far this year, 20% of cases received into the lab contained fentanyl.
It's distressing.
And officials believe they'll analyze close to 600 cases by the end of the year, compared to just 200 last year. But perhaps the most alarming discovery is the stuff drug makers are mixing fentanyl with.
Medicines that are used by veterinarians, some of what we see are other street drugs.
Fentanyl, acetaminophen, maybe some tramadol, which is a prescription medication as well for pain.
The mission for them now is finding ways to unbundle how cartels made the pill.
If there's fentanyl there, I run tests to see if it's there, and if it isn't there, I run tests to rule it out.
As a way to help investigators out and keep Montanans safe.
It's shocking because you think, why would you want to put that in your body, you know?
Now, those with the crime lab also say they've seen cases of carfentanil, which is used as a tranquilizer for animals like elephants. Now, back in 2017, they had 2 cases come across the lab. Those cases even more deadly because carfentanil is 10,000 times more potent than morphine. In other news, as Montana and the nation continues to struggle with substance abuse, many see the crisis as one of the biggest issues facing our country today. Montana's reservations, no strangers to addiction, which is why a trio of Montanans have started broadcasting their struggles to the world. TN's Casey Conlon picks up their story.
On Thursday nights, in this back hallway at the First Congregational Church in downtown Billings, you can find this room with 3 Absalica Nation members inside. For 2 years, they've been sharing their stories of addiction to try to help pull others out of the darkness. As soon as you click play on an Unspoken Words podcast, you feel like you've been transported into a Native American talking circle.
In layman's terms, it's like AA or NA. Did you bring enough for everybody?
It's a topic J.C. Beaumont, Josiah Huggs, and Randy Bear Don't Walk know plenty about.
I was practicing alcoholic for like 26 years.
I was drinking a half a gallon of vodka every day.
I was alcoholic and a meth addict.
Beaumont and Huggs met at an actual talking circle inside the church a few years ago and became fast friends. When the duo turned into a trio, it didn't take long to figure out how they were going to make a difference in the often dark and dangerous world of recovery.
Started meeting together, us 3, talking about certain topics, and like, man, that's a podcast right there. Boom, episode. Each time we met.
Did you guys do anything like funny, crazy back then?
100 episodes in, they've perfected their podcast format, which is always one take, no editing.
As soon as he turned,
What the listener gets from us is just our true selves, like in real time.
We can bring them in with that laughter, and then, well, we're going to hit you with something serious real quick.
Like this from episode 96, titled Step 9, Making Amends.
Knowing that I was the cause of so much pain and anguish and hurt is something that I have to live with every day.
That honesty and openness is the reason they continue to reach tribal members all across the country, with over 17,000 downloads, including at least one in every state.
The best way to try to make positive change is to show others that, hey, it's okay to be vulnerable.
When we need that little extra bit of encouragement, something will come through like, hey, I'm over here on the other side of the world, other side of the country, and they'll say, hey man, your story inspires us. And those are like the moments that, you know what, man, like, let's continue doing it. Let's keep going.
What they're offering is another chance at life. Who couldn't get on board with that?
Don't stop!
In Billings, Casey Conlon, MTN News.
Great story, Casey. Thank you very much. 6:40 now. The Midway Bar in Anaconda reportedly burglarized Monday morning. According to a social media post from the Anaconda Deer Lodge Law Enforcement Center, officials seeking information on any suspicious persons or vehicles around the 300 block of East Commercial, in the alley, or intersecting streets around 2 to 6 o'clock in the morning of October 3rd. A safe was taken. Dark gray Carhartt beanie cap you see pictured was left behind, as well as several other items. Now, if you have any information, contact Detective Staley by messaging the Anaconda Deer Lodge Law Enforcement Center Facebook page or you can call 406-563-5241, or you can send a text to 406-490-5269. Right, time for a break here on Montana This Morning.